If you've played any racing games like Mario Kart or Trackmania, you probably know of time trials, and chances are you're familiar with racing against code. Speaking of Mario Kart, you're probably aware that it has a mechanic where you can rewind. These are very useful mechanics that uses the player's past actions or positions. Perhaps the coolest example of how this can be used is in the mobile game Clone Armies, a game where you want to destroy all enemies but you will die. Doing so will let you try again, but this time you have your previous attempt helping you. It shoots when you shot, it moves when you moved, and if it doesn't die earlier, it dies where you died. Even still, this is a very underappreciated mechanic, and there is a lot that can still be done in solving the past. These mechanics generally involve recording the player's position or inputs each frame, but nothing is stopping us from recording our own and using it to record cutscenes. This is kind of like what Mario Bros did with the hint move. It is clear to me now that it would save a lot of time, especially when it turns out recording inputs is very simple. Look at this code for recording inputs in Godot with only 20 lines. It's worth noting that I was dumb when coding and didn't realize you could append to a file until AI. The reason you want to append to a file is because otherwise taking out a large array, appending it, may eventually be costly. But if you're only having a short cutscene, you could just call the function when you're done recording the inputs. Now onto the part that made me want to make this video. I was in maths learning about how gravity exists or something. Things such as what happens if gravity doubles or halves came up, and fully to brag and everything, but I'm so high tech that I already found out how to code it in a previous game of mine. This is when I got the dumb idea of what happens if the player is the gravity. So if you stand still on the ground, you start moving to your previous position. This is a nifty rewind mechanic at the moment, but if we add a weird jumping rule, such as having a bull check if you're on the ground and have it only turn off when you jump, all of a sudden we can reach new places using a rewind mechanic. This was done by having a 600 sized array that remembers your previous positions for the last seconds, and using a custom stack system to where we only rewrite one array element at a time. I stopped at 600 because I was afraid it would take up a lot of space if I'd done it bigger, but turns out a 600 sized array of vector 2 takes up a negligible amount of memory, and even less if you use a packed vector 2 array. I thought this could be a cool mechanic for a game, but then I realized something similar to what I mentioned in the screen warping. What if you record the inputs or movement of the player, but then when the scene reloads, it isn't the player that's controlled by the file, but an enemy or different character, possibly with its own different movement. You could now create a level where you play it normally, but must then beat it with a character with different movement that you never get to correct for. Or maybe you need this character to control buttons and doors for you, so you can beat the level as the normal player. Whatever the function is, it is clear to me there is a lot you can do with the player's past besides making a time trial ghost. Even with a time trial ghost, there is plenty you can do with it. What if you make a racing game where you first try to complete the race as fast as possible, then you play again as the passenger and must shoot as many targets as you can, whilst the previous you drive in order to lower your time. You could potentially make an entire army based on the player's different paths. I guess that's kind of the point of Clone Army. Either way, the sky's the limit, and I hope this video helped inspire you on if there's any way to use these mechanics in a new way. And don't worry, my next video is going to be on a much dumber mechanic.